I haven't read your word today. I got you. Share this with someone that needs to hear it. And today's requested verse is Isaiah 54, verse 10. It says, "For the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee. Neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord that have mercy on thee." This is a beautiful verse because it reminds me of God's loving kindness. Let's start at the top of that verse. "For the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee." What does this truly mean? This means I look at this as God saying that our circumstances might go up and down. And on my keychain I actually have, it means God is greater than ups and downs. And it reminds me that no matter what I'm going through, how my circumstances look, and the goodness in like the good times of life, God put me there. All good things come from God. But at the same time, when I go through trials and tribulations where I feel like I'm struggling, I feel like everything's overwhelming, I got to remember that God is going to be there, that God is for me. When you know God is for you, you can look through everything from the lens that God is, if God is for me, what is God showing me? How is God loving me in this situation? Because we know everything God does is out of love for us. So when we go through trials and tribulations, instead of getting so overwhelmed and so focused on all the negatives, think about how God is loving you through that. Because if you know the person, you know their intentions. And when we know about God in the Bible is how much his mercy endures, how much kindness he has. And if you just go later on, it says, "Neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord that have mercy on me." The Lord is telling us that his covenant of peace will not be removed. What does that mean? That everything God does is ultimately for our good. It's ultimately for our peace sake. It might not be comfortable in that moment, but at the end of the day, God sees in the end is going to bring us peace. God sees it at the end. He's giving us mercy to show us his plans. And I think oftentimes we feel hyper focused on things that God doesn't mean for us to focus on. And I think that the most important thing is just realizing how much we need the Lord and how we need to look from the perspective of God loves me. He's doing everything in my life for a reason. What is he teaching me from this? And I realize that a lot of times before God can give you the blessing, he has to prepare you for the blessing. If you're going through that season where you have to trust God and it's uncertain and you don't really know what's happening, but you just have to have faith, realize that God might be testing your faith before he gives you that breakthrough. But trust is to remain faithful to the Lord.